Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 8. I'll see you at the top. JJ and Tammy. Like, this is getting good. This is getting juicy. If you did not see episode 7, you missing out. You tripping. Because we talked about some very intimate moments about losing our child and about how he had to confront the friend and the friend confronted him and I mean a mess. But at this point, going to episode 8, we are together now. You know, Jeremy made up his mind of what he wanted. And that's what I wanted. At the end of the day, a woman wants to know what a man wants. And if a man don't put that type of pressure down, then it's like everybody got access. But Jeremy at that point said, nah, I'm not losing you over nothing. And so I'm grateful for that. But at this point, we made it exclusive. And it was like he's living in a nice townhome in Grand Prairie, Texas. I built my home from ground up north. And we're just going from different cities to different cities in this season. You know, talk to me about the shift. Like, we got 5 kids together. You got 2 kids, I got 3. And we would literally go from Grand Prairie out north every other weekend. Like, where are we at now that we've made it exclusive? People really want to know.
So I think,
Because that's new to us. Remember, we were secret, right?
yeah. I mean, we was everybody knew, right? At this point, everybody kind of knew. But I stayed. I had my own spot. Right? You had your own place. You just had bought a house, and so we was going back and forth. Like you come back from your events. I think the TV show we was going through that phase where you was about to be on TV. And you asked me how do I feel about being in the television. I'm like, nah, I can't do the TV because when I see black TV, I see black drama. So I ain't want to be a part of no
And
drama.
it was drama.
I ain't want to be a part of no drama. I ain't want to do that. So I told you no off the muscle. I didn't care what type of opportunities was gonna come because I already knew about. I was gonna make it regardless. I ain't need no TV show. So, I was like no, but and then me being who I am, you suckered me into it. You suckered me into it, and I was like, man, you know what? It's cool. It's gonna be good for my business. It's cool.
We had an interview with the TV show.
Yeah, it was gonna be, but it didn't happen. So I'm glad it didn't happen. But anyways, we was going through that, and I had a relative that passed away in Chicago, right? I think it was one of my aunties, my granddad's sister.
Mm-hmm.
She passed away, and I went to Chicago. Me and my aunt. And my cousin, right? And my aunt, she just passed. Rest in peace, Aunt Faye.
Which Aunt Faye?
Aunt Faye, yep.
I'm sorry.
Auntie Faye, she was there. We was in the car, and we was just talking about you. We was talking about our relationship, and she was like, "I think you should move in over there." And I'm like, "I'm not about to move in with no woman. Are you tripping? I'm about to move in. I got my own stuff. I got my own spot. Like I ain't finna move in with nobody." Cause I already said that I wasn't gonna move in with nobody anyway until I get married. We always kind of make these declarations to ourselves that we gonna be a certain way about a certain time. We gonna have this amount of money. I'm not gonna have no kids until I'm like we used to do. We did all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was something I did too. I said, I'm not staying with no woman. She gonna have to come in with me, or we gotta do it together. But the women, bro, I'm a sucker for them women. I'm a sucker for the women that I love in my life.
You ain't sucker no more, just for me.
And my auntie and my cousin, being who they are, they said, you should go stay with her. It's like a win-win. Like, you can save money, she can save money. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all can join together. And I thought about it, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because it's a lot of responsibility over there. She got 3 kids. She got this big old mortgage. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if
Hello.
It's a lot. So I was kind of concerned about that. I'm like, if I do, I was contemplating. If I do, like, this is what's going to happen. And then at the time, I kind of felt like my business was going, like, it was kind of like, it was going down.
You had made some investments with the restaurant.
but it wasn't working out. It was a bad sign. Like it wasn't working out. Like we was going through a lot at the Mimosa Bar, like with the landlord, with communication amongst the ownership group. Like I think we had a situation at the club, at the restaurant where somebody got shot. So that had happened.
Jesus.
That happened. And then I had my dogs. I had made an investment with some dogs. I had spent like $40,000 on some dogs. And so the dogs was puppies. So I knew kind of like it was going to take like a year and a half for that to kind of play out and pan out. So I had to wait on that, right? So I had money over there. I had money in the restaurant. And then I had started doing real estate. I had money tied in the real estate. And so I had all these investments tied up. And the barbershop wasn't doing good. People started to kind of leave out.
So you had multiple businesses.
I had a lot going on. I invested a bunch of money during that time. And so I was projecting out. Because, as men, we kind of like, we look 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. Like, that's how I operate, that's how I think. So I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, these investments not working out. So because they ain't working out, so this is a total loss, right? And then on top of the fact that I have to wait on a house to sell. Like, I got to wait on the house to sell to get my money back or recoup money. And I have to wait on tax season because my only main sources of income that I was getting paid from was from real estate and it was from houses. Mm-hmm. So real estate, I was just learning the nuance about
the taxes.
No, real estate. Real estate. I was learning about the game and real estate, and I was kind of overextending myself. I was spending too much money, taking on too many investors, didn't really know what I was doing. And taxes, I kind of stepped away from taxes, right, to do real estate. My heart was over here in real estate building, and taxes, it was just always there. I just knew I had 300-400 clients that was always gonna come no matter if I post or not. So, but it I'm in the waiting period with that too. I'm like 8 months from getting paid from that again, like around all this time where they's telling me to go over here and stay with you. So I'm concerned. I'm like, listen, if I go over here, I know she probably gonna want me to pay these, pay my share of the bills, right? And I didn't know. We didn't have that conversation. Like I didn't know. I didn't want to have that conversation. Just be transparent. I didn't want to have that conversation. Why you didn't want to have that conversation? Because
we just had a baby. Why you didn't want to? We could talk about the baby. We could talk about the bill.
Because I knew where my business was going.
Okay.
And I knew that to come in and tell you, like, if I'm gonna do this, like, this is what I had to do. So I'm gonna just tell you, and a man could probably relate to this. If I would have had that conversation, it would have went like this. I would have said, Tammy, okay, I know I want to be with you. Of course, we together. You got the house. I got an apartment, and I think that it's in the best interest for me to be out here. But I'm telling you, if I'm going out here, it's gonna be a little tough for me because my stuff not working out, right? And to have that conversation was to tell you, like, you gonna have to take the majority of the load. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do that to you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to have that conversation. So I said to myself, okay, auntie, okay, cousin, y'all make good points. All right, I'm going to do this because I believe in myself. Like, I believe in myself. Like, I done made all this money. You know what I'm saying? I done got to this place before I can do it again, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. Let's do it. I didn't tell you about all the stuff I had going on. I didn't tell you that I felt like I was losing. I didn't tell you about the season that I was going into. Like, I was, kind of living off investment, like investors, like giving me money, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was doing. And it was tough, like waiting for that clock to hit, like wait for that house to sell, wait for tax season.
So you was going through all of this bad business by yourself.
I was going through all that by myself.
And with the new commitment with me,
yep.
With the loss of a child, loss
yep.
of your cousin,
yep.
loss of your uncle,
yep. friends,
loss of your friends.
Yep.
Like, you was going through all of this all at 1 year. Yeah. And then you couldn't even talk to your friend about how low you really were.
Yeah, so I couldn't talk to you about it. So what happened was you felt it, right? You just felt it. Cause I took that responsibility on as a man in spite of all the stuff that I was going through. I said, you know what, I'm still gonna be here, I'm still gonna show up because again, I believe in me. So as I was going through that, And I couldn't talk to nobody about this. I couldn't talk to no men about it because I ain't had no men at the time in my life. I ain't had no friends at the time in my life. I couldn't really talk to somebody. And just somebody that I knew that can really relate to it, to do business at a high level like that. Like, I had a lot of stuff going on. And it wasn't that many people that I could talk to that had all these multiple businesses and that was successful in it to tell them about what I was going through. So I was just holding all that stuff in, right? And so, like, I was still doing real estate, doing my deals, and I was still selling houses. Still selling houses. Like, I'm talking about, it was a struggle, but I was doing it. And it's like every time I sold a house, I had to pay back a bunch of money to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
How did you think our relationship took a toll with that?
It wasn't good.
Because you just said I started feeling it.
Yeah, you start feeling it.
Tell me about I know about the business, but tell me about the relationship and how it took a turn.
So
and how did we stay committed to each other in that season? And I was taking care of my second mom at the time.
Yeah. So what we had, like, I think what we had up until that point, like, it was like undeniable. It was, our history. Again, it was a lot that went into us even before I done came into my struggles. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I knew you wanted me. I knew you was for me. I just knew you was down for me. You wanted the best for me, right? So that gave me comfort in knowing that, like when I get out of this, she's still gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, the struggle, it was like, okay, it was time to pay the mortgage. I say rent because I'm so used to paying rent. Time to pay the mortgage, right? And again, like, I'm not who I am today. Like, I'm not the man that I am today, and the man that I was. It was such a dark moments. Like, it was dark for me. Like, it was bad. When I tell you, Tammy, like, the stuff that I used to think about, like, I used to not want to wake up in the morning. Like, because I knew my phone was going to be ringing and people was going to be calling me because I owed them some money. Right? It was so hard. Like, people calling me, hey, JJ, where my money? Jeremy, where my money? Contractors calling me. I'm delaying them. I'm pausing them. I'm waiting to try to get another draw to come in so I can pay them. And then you needed help with the bills and like, things that started happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just so much. Like, it was so much. And it carried over. Like, so people start calling you, Tammy, Jeremy owed me some money. Like, so now it's affecting,
what?
So now it's affecting my relationship. Now it's affecting my relationship. No, I'm like, but I knew though. I knew it was gonna be like this. And that was my hesitation. But I said to myself, I can do it. Cause I know me. I know Jeremy. God give me breath in my body. I'm gonna make something happen. Regardless. So I knew me, I betted on myself. But I knew it was gonna be like this. I knew it because I was seeing it. It wasn't working out. Like, all this stuff wasn't working. If all that stuff would have worked, you wouldn't have had to do nothing. Because I had so much invested. I had so many high hopes that this stuff was gonna work out, and it didn't. So, like, now I'm in debt. So now you going from having $300,000 cash in the bank to being negative $300,000 in a year, in a year and a half. Like, again,
that was a lot.
Yes.
But then I was the one that was with you. You told me you was with some girl that really didn't believe in your real estate. I was with you, and I was like, baby, go on and do it.
Yeah. You would, yeah.
I was the one that believed in the dream.
I know.
And now you fast forward.
Yeah.
Season 2, 3, you got 12 houses on the ground. 2025. That's getting built right now.
Yeah. So,
you got your team.
Yeah.
You got everything in motion. Everything is in movement. God is so good.
God is good.
But in that moment, you was like, should I do the real estate? You was like,
no, that was earlier on. This was before I started.
Yeah,
so
but I'm saying I remember saying. So I kind of felt bad, is what I'm saying. Like, you found yourself $300,000 in debt, but I was the ones that believed in you and said you could do it.
You encouraged me, so it's like, damn, you kind of felt bad because, like, if
I encouraged you to do it, but
that gave me a boost to do it though.
That other girl you was dealing with was like, you're not ready for that. I'm like, I'm not that type of woman. If you want to do something, go ahead.
Yeah. But I wish somebody would have told me, no, don't do this. Jeremy, don't do this. I wish I had somebody in my life at that time say, Jeremy, don't do this. Because again, like, all that kind of showed up. Like, all that childhood stuff, it was showing up, like, just being conscious of who I am now as a man, like being in tune with my feelings and really understanding, like, God now is that, like, all of these moments in my life kind of reflected back to when I was a kid, right? Again, like, we talked about this. So it was a moment where I felt like nobody respected me, right? Like, as a kid, my mom, because my mom used to talk, and I love my mama to death, but when we was a kid, like, when I was growing up, like, my mama used to talk to me crazy. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that was normal. Like, you know, everybody know, like, it was normal, you know? But, you know, when I got older, I'm shorter than everybody. I didn't get respected. So, like, that time when I was doing all of this, investing all this money, I felt respected. I felt like people actually respect me. People
you was on your game.
When I was on my game, when people wanted to, man, I'm connected to Jeremy, that dude, like, that was kind of like feed my ego, right? And again, I wasn't conscious. I wasn't second guessing. Like, I wasn't like, should I do this? I'm like, somebody say something, hey, I think you should do this. Okay, let's do it. Like, what's up? How much you need? That's who I was, and it was so bad. And so, it poured over to us, you know, when you know, I couldn't really be a support. Like, I couldn't really show up and be the man that God called me to be. I couldn't support you. It was so hard. Like,
so in that time that you couldn't support me, not to interrupt you, but the time that you couldn't support me, I was also caring for my mom.
Yep.
And my mom died in the middle of your debt, in the middle of your issues. My spirit, like, I'm a woman of faith, and my spirit was like, something's going on with my mom. And you turned around in the middle of the highway on, was it Northwest Highway? It was one of them highways. In the middle of the highway, I said, baby, take me to my mama. In the middle of the night, you take me to my mama. My mama died in my hands. My mama died in my hands in July of 2022. And that was your biggest debt. You was in your biggest debt. And I was distraught. My tea company was still moving, but that was after the movie show, and then that was after the show.
You was taking a lot of losses too.
I took a lot.
Your business went.
It was going crazy.
It was like a seesaw too. Like,
because it was after. What I'm saying is, it was after the show. So after the show, when everybody was tripping on social media, I went viral for the low vibration plate and 250 million impressions. Like, I'm known all over the world for a low vibration plate. Like, that's me. Hi, y'all. So, like, after that, my mom died, and I was like, I'm not gonna have no help with the funeral.
No, I help you with the funeral.
You end up helping me with the funeral.
I helped you. Yeah, like, yeah.
I was thinking. Listen to what I'm saying. I was thinking, I'm not gonna have no help with the funeral because you were so in a bad space. Remind you, we went from good to boom, life hit.
Yeah.
And then boom, my mom. And I was like, how am I gonna pay for this funeral?
Yep.
And you was like, Tammy, I got it.
Yep.
And that was something that you probably borrowed from somebody.
Yeah.
You helped me pay for my mom's funeral, and I held her hand until she passed. I remember passing out on the floor. My brother called you and said, get her out that hospital.
Yeah.
So we been through all of this together. Yeah. And that was, I think 2022 was the lowest.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like, the lowest of the lowest.
It was.
How do we make it through that? How do you think we make it through? Because I still don't know.
Man, just faith in God, man. Just, just not quitting. Like, just, you can't lose if you don't quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care how low you get. If you stay the course, it's going to work. Like, in a relationship. Like, relationship's going to work if you don't leave. Like, if you don't leave. Right? It's going to eventually work. Just don't quit the business.
But you still got to work at it.
I'm saying,
people stay in situations longer than they supposed to be.
But again, it takes a willing person, right? It takes a willing person to work on a relationship. It takes a willing person to keep working on the business after you continue to fail. So like I wasn't gonna quit. I already had that mindset. Like I'm not gonna give up. So I kind of knew like it was gonna turn around. You know what I'm saying? And I was always patient. I was always patient. To just I've been a patient person. You know, just to stay in things and when it's uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So it was God. God, you know, we never stopped going to church. We never stopped praying. I never stopped believing in your business. You never stopped believing in my business, right? And it was just like it was us. It was us against everything, every enemy. And so I felt that. You felt me. Like I didn't give up. Like I didn't let this define like it didn't make me, because I was in debt, it didn't make me a bad person. It didn't make me a bad person. I wasn't aggressive. You know, I was still patient. I was still loving. I was still showing up and supporting you. You know, for me, I couldn't pay the mortgage. You know, I'm gonna get the house clean. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna pay the house cleaner. The house cleaner was like $1,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? I can come up with $1,000 a month. I'm gonna get the groceries. You know, the groceries are $1,000 because we got all these kids. I'm gonna get the groceries. You know, and I'm gonna cook. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure the house clean. I'm gonna cook the food. I'm gonna take care of the kids. You go get your money. You know what I'm saying? You go get the paper. And that's what you was doing. You know what I'm saying? You was still doing your thing, still rocking.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I still was doing my thing. I was still selling the houses too as well. You know, and you know, it's just like it was just taking so long to get paid from that. And so when I get paid from it, you know, here you go, here go $20,000. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Here go 20.
I wrecked my Bentley.
Yeah, you wrecked your Bentley. You know, around the time you wrecked
I
your
wrecked
Bentley
my
around the
Bentley.
time that I was
Selling your
sold the
house.
house, and it took $40,000 to get the Bentley fixed.
And
Here
you
go
gave
40,000.
No, it was 52.
Yeah, here you go. Here you go. Even while I was in debt,
You gave me
I owed people
$52,000.
money.
I remember.
I owed the people money, and we need to get the car out.
You gave me $52,000 to get my Bentley out.
I gotta get the car out, right?
I could have just gave the Bentley back, got me a new car.
Knowing what we know now, we could have.
I could have just gave the folk that Bentley back.
We could have invested the $50,000 and built the house. We
And
could have
got
did so much. Like what we know now, we could have did a lot with that money. But we gave the money. That Bentley was near and dear to you. Here go the money.
Welcome
Boom.
to episode 8. I see you at the top, where we took a L. It went from high school. It went from being like, I don't know. It went from working together to tax office, friends, family, you know, friends, secret, pregnancy, loss of family members, to now loss and debt. Now we moved in together. Now we shacking. Now we don't feel good. Episode 8. I'll see you at the top. See you at 9 in just a minute.